This series is about outstanding architecture from around America. From stunning residential to public spaces to commercial. This is an architectural deep dive to uncover the incredible stories behind each design. Welcome to America by Design. Our ByDesign industry experts have selected innovative, inspiring, and award-winning projects.
We need the public to understand architecture because it lasts. You build a building and it's going to be there for decades, let's hope, maybe even hundreds of years.
So the more the public understands and thinks about architecture, actually the better architects can do in designing for them. That dialogue is really important and it makes buildings and cities better.
Let's get started with our first project.
The Mingei Museum is a really beautiful and special place because it's all about bringing the everyday people art into a space that is for everyone. In a historic place, it's always been about getting people together.
Balboa Park here in San Diego hosted the World Fair in 1915 and then again in 1935. And just like the Eiffel Tower, these buildings were all considered temporary at the time, but they survived. And one of them became the Mingei Museum. Jen, what did the museum want you to do?
Well, Mike, in the beginning, it was super simple. It was an exercise of function, adding lighting, cleaning up the floors. But as we interviewed staff members and board members, we realized there's a bigger aspiration here. Look at all the opportunities they had in this great historic building and a beautiful historic park. And so we asked the museum to go on a journey with us to explore a museum of the 21st century.
Okay, tell me about this space.
Mike, this is what we call the living room of the park. We wanted to really open the museum up and make it a very welcoming space.
This has caught my eye. What's going on here?
This is a wonderful story. It's an acoustic ceiling.
I attended a party at Rob's house early on in our process together, and he played his player piano, which fascinated me. 100 years old.
Well, one of those that plays by itself.
Exactly.
And she had never seen them before. They quite took her imagination.
I asked you to pull it out. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Pull one out and showed how.
I mean, look at this.
Ah,
okay.
look.
Look at that early digital.
And look at this.
Yeah. So 3 years later, when the project is well underway, we were going to Kansas City to meet Bill Zahner, who was doing metal work for the museum. And she said, Rob, what's your favorite piano roll?
Yeah.
And I said, that's easy. What are you doing the rest of your life? From a 1969 film.
How does that go?
Oh my goodness. What are you doing the rest of your life? North and south and east and west of your life. I have only one request of your life, that you spend it all with me.
Oh.
Bravo!
So Bill, you were the hands that made this.
Yes, and we had such great time working with Jennifer and her team on creating this, and first time I've seen it in place.
Oh, really?
But it really, really looks wonderful. The material that Jennifer chose too, the stainless steel, has a reflectivity that's different than you get from other materials. It has an interplay with light.
Yes. We had this thought of, okay, maybe one panel representing a part of this player piano song, and let's repeat it, turn it around, and make a pattern. But that wasn't enough for Bill and his team.
No, we had to do the whole song. And it pushes us, and our people enjoy working with good design and great architecture to create something that's going to last generations and enjoyed by people.
Now, Bill, the city needed a security fence here, but let's not go for any security fence. Let's put Bill and Jen on the case.
Exactly. And Jennifer's team created this wonderful fence.
Yeah, come on, Bill, it's not a fence.
It's a sculpture rather than a fence, yet it acts as the fence. They were cut in a water jet, a real powerful water jet that we have. You know, you're shaping them, and then once you're done heating them, they freeze back into the strength.
Yeah.
And you think you got 3/4 inch thick copper alloys, and you're making it look like plastic, and then polished, and then oxidized on one side versus the other.
And looking at it this way versus looking at it this way, it's two different stories.
It is. It was a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah. And speaking of fun, I spotted your beer taps. They're kind of a little bit like this.
Yeah, we had to drink a lot of beer to do this. That was sort of a gift to the museum. We said, hey, you know, we've got this down now. We can twist this stuff. So we offered to do these thinner, but just as elegant little beer taps. Why not?
So Jennifer, let's talk about materials.
Let's.
Because I know you lie awake thinking about this.
I do. For instance, we're sitting at this beautiful welcome bench. It's made of this beautiful stone from Switzerland called Vals. Huara stone actually carved this long bench for us that's 40 feet long and made by a robot, but hand finished. It has a gorgeous color. It has a temperature to it. It slopes towards the gallery to introduce you to the experience. So what a joy it was for us to really consider all the materials. Particularly the surface you walk on. In a museum, you have thousands and thousands of people visiting every year. So on that ground floor, we worked with a local company called TB Panic to innovate a contemporary concrete surface that feels like terrazzo. And yet it's so personal because the museum staff were able to select the aggregate themselves, which was fantastic.
Speaking of fantastic, what about the bell tower?
The bell tower was something that nobody knew anything about.
Really?
Absolutely. It was hidden behind layers of drywall over years of renovation. So we discovered the bell tower with its beautiful skylight. We found the perfect home for the Dale Chihuly sculpture, which is made of the Venetian glass of that tradition. So we worked with a local company called Raymond. Wrapping that artwork now is this tower made of Venetian plaster.
Because it's an ancient technology, isn't it?
And they actually brought together a very young team to relearn it and to carry that tradition forward, something that we're all very, very proud of.
Well, the message is loud and clear. The Mingei Museum works on every level. And that's not an organic thing. It's not luck. It's by design.
So how do you turn a former parking garage into a state-of-the-art, fully functioning gym? The iconic landmark Seagram's building has added a new amenity to attract the next generation of tenant and their team members in a whole new way. Sheldon, we're both lifelong New Yorkers. This Seagram's building is truly one of the most iconic in the city. What's the history?
The building was designed by the German architect Ties van der Rohe. It was constructed and completed in 1958, and at the time it was considered the Rolls-Royce of office buildings. And 67 years later, it's still revered as the best example of international architecture.
Absolutely, and this plaza, I just love being here.
And the plaza is 10,000 square feet in area. The plaza is unique in that at the time it was built, it was really the first urban open space. Ties van der Rohe created the plaza to add relief. Typically on Park Avenue, you have buildings built on the street line, whereas Seagram building is set back and allows you to have kind of this apron in front as an arrival experience. So it is special because it's also so unique.
Well, this is certainly surprising. This is not at all what I was expecting in the basement of the Seagram's building.
Yeah, when you get into the lobby and press that button in the travertine upstairs and arrive down here, the goal was surprise. The goal was really making people question where they were and if they were still in the Seagram building at all.
That's incredible. Now, what was here before?
So before, you would have walked in and it was a back of house space. So there were photocopiers, mail rooms, mechanical rooms, and then one floor down was a parking garage. Sheldon and his team understood the value of creating a large volume in a below grade space. That was the way we were going to create this sense of outdoors and daylight and volume for especially the program here, which revolves, as you can see, around sport.
Yeah, and I love what you did here with the cityscape and the colors. It sort of brings you into feeling like the outdoors again.
It is not outside, but it's definitely the intent. So the idea of drawing you in from that moment of compression when you come in and working with focused lighting on creating different environments, and even the color blue to kind of evoke that idea of being back outside.
Minus the street noise, of course.
Minus the street noise, yes.
Okay, Thomas, I'm seeing that very polished Midtown Manhattan boardroom here, and yet a rock climbing wall on the other side.
It's not what you would expect, is it? But that was the whole point. This whole program is about bringing people together. Whether you're having a more expected sort of boardroom scenario with executives where the palette is a bit more neutral, but then that's juxtaposed with something that's a bit more bold and vibrant and active. We wanted to be more playful.
I'm so glad, because I'm starting to feel like we were a little underdressed up here. Now, David tells me there's actually quite a few of these zones throughout the space.
Well, the zones are catered towards the tenants, and what that means is that in their offices up in the tower, they may have spaces that don't accommodate 26 people in a boardroom setting, but also the fitness component. So again, in through the spirit of bringing people together, that's most of the program downstairs. Beyond that is we have a retractable bleachers system, which means that if you want to just pull it out and sort of be a spectator watching different sport, or if you want to hold an event, it could also transform to become a space where people gather to watch screenings, movies, whatever it may be. The possibilities are endless, and that reconfiguration and be able to make it what you want has resonated really well with tenants.
Just about everybody here has a space. Okay, so what's for me? The rock climbing wall. Can we go play?
Perfect, let's go play.
Okay. So David, this really feels like the heart of the playground,
Absolutely.
yes?
And it is so true. Until we convinced the owner that they wanted to take 4 bays of floor out of the cellar and create a double height space. Allows you to have a climbing wall, volleyball, pickleball, anything you want to do in here, but it's always bringing people together.
Yeah, you know what? I really get that now. I mean, if you hadn't done all of that, you really would just have like a basement with some treadmills in it.
We have treadmills, we have free weights, but really the purpose of this space and what makes it impactful is that you can come here with 2 people to play ping pong, or you could have 250 people here for a lecture or to watch the World Cup, but it's all about bringing the entire building together as a community in various ways.
Yeah, you know, and I love the way it all works so beautifully together.
You know, we worked with great graphic designers to create this space. This mural represents the outside, New York. These are buildings that RFR owned or owns, and it's all integrated seamlessly with the floor, which is made from Thor Neoflex reptiles, and it's become practically a horizontal work of art.
I could see that. I mean, it feels like a great day in New York in here.
Thank you.
So Sheldon, Allie, this place has been around for a few years now. How's it working for you?
Well, you know, we came into the playground post-COVID, and people were just starting to return to the workplace. And in the beginning, we saw so many people walking around, looking at their phones, not paying attention to their environment. And so through our fitness programming, our sports, our classes, we're able to kind of like break that zombie feeling with all the people that are working here. People are starting to connect, and we're really proud to be a part of that.
You know, the building was landmarked in 2005. The playground was completed in 2022, and we consider the playground to be an instant landmark once it was complete.
Well, I can certainly see why. This place is fabulous. Now, what are your members saying about the playground?
When they come down here, you know, they're coming from their offices, but nobody cares about your title. Nobody cares that you're the director, the CEO. You come here, you come to play. and we keep it really casual, and I think they really appreciate that.
Yeah, so what about you, Sheldon? How often are we seeing you down here?
It's not unusual to see me after work in sneakers and shooting hoops.
Oh, very good. I want to see that. Well, congratulations, you guys. It's a beautiful and very well-functioning space.
Thank you.
The playground is an amazing example of what the future of workplace can be. And it's absolutely thrilling to see the iconic Seagrams building leading the way.
This project is one of the most sustainable projects that we have in Atlanta. The way they've incorporated some of the trees and the furniture and the elements into architecture is truly inspiring.
Atlanta loves its trees. In fact, it's often called the city in a forest. And there's an organization here that thinks about that every day.
This is the Atlanta Beltline Arboretum, the 22-mile linear arboretum, the longest in the entire country. Trees Atlanta works on this project, but many other projects. And what we do, we are a nonprofit that plants, protects, and educates people about the importance of trees. And we do this through community. And last year we had almost 45,000 volunteer hours. 5 years ago, we found ourselves growing in a very organic way. And we ended up in 3 different locations, not all the same. Some had little varmints running through, some were pretty nicely renovated.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to find a 3-acre site right here on the Beltline, and we had our new home, and we were gonna call it the Treehouse.
When we first saw this site, one of the first things that caught our attention was this magnificent tree that we're under. We thought replacing this tree would take decades and decades, maybe even centuries, and that we should really make sure that we preserved it.
Yeah.
It serves as an outdoor classroom, but it also represents Atlanta, and it represents Trees Atlanta and their mission. Other parts of the site were not as inviting. Unfortunately, there was an existing building here that had some contamination, including asbestos and gasoline. We ended up having to mitigate it, remove the building, but the opportunity that brought us was a relatively clean slate.
So Joshua, what was the big idea?
Let me show you. We really, really like this tree that we're sitting under, as I noted.
Yeah.
But in addition to the tree, we wanted to create an open meadow on the other side of the site. So that allows the tree and the meadow to effectively talk to each other, and then that movement back and forth allows us to create a primary path around which the entire rest of the project is designed.
And what's this?
So this is an existing element on the site that we thought was really important to preserve. Come on, let me show you.
Now, Joshua, I gotta say, I did not see this coming.
You thought it was gonna be another tree, didn't you?
Of course. So what's the thinking?
This silo was actually a part of the building that used to be here. At one point it was a bakery, but it's the tallest thing on the site, and it harkens back to former uses of the site. At the same time, it also actually creates this fantastic outdoor living room. We have the site pieces furniture out here for people to enjoy, but it's also, because of its height, a beacon. It's visible from the Beltline, which is just across the street. And so it becomes a welcome sign for Trees Atlanta and a please come join us on the site moment.
Now, Sarah, what's this?
Be careful, don't step on any of the cracks. They're actual native plant communities here in the granite outcrop. But this piece was designed by Daryl Morrison, who's a famous landscape architect. It was originally designed for the Atlanta History Center that was then donated to Trees Atlanta. So we had to find this in their back storage facility at Atlanta History Center and reconstruct it from a photo from a 1990s.
You're kidding?
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. And this is the meadow.
Yeah, so this is a wetland seepage meadow. It's been established. There's lots of bees and butterflies, birds, and even some salamanders that you can find here around the granite outcrop.
And Sarah, think of what this looked like just a few years ago.
Completely different. I mean, this was a brownfield site that had none of the ecology that's here today. This is one of my favorite spots here at the Trees Atlanta campus.
Yeah, I like a good rock hop.
Oh, good. Well, we'll just walk across here. Most people don't know, but it actually rains more here than say Seattle. So we have—
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we actually have to do a really good job at managing our stormwater. We do that through several natural systems. So all the water comes through this forebay and then is slowed down by this check dam and then continues on to the bioswale.
And these train tracks, what's the story here?
This used to be a bakery, like Joshua said, and there used to be different trains that would come and deliver seed and grain. And as the train tracks were found on the site, we reclaimed and used them to be edging material for this trail that leads you from the front of the campus to the back of the campus.
Yeah.
So it celebrates not only the history of the site, but the history of Atlanta as this nexus of rail intersections.
So Rajiv, inside, let's talk about the design.
What we tried to do was to really blur the boundary between outside and inside. So there's extensive glazing and these doors that open up to this wonderful landscape that has been created, garage doors that open up as well, and then we even bring an exterior material into the building, the brick.
Yes, the brick I can see.
This is the Cherokee brick that we used on the outside, which we brought into the building again to blur the boundary between the outside and the inside. And Mike, imagine this, a piece of wood that's felled in a forest which slowly ages to gray. But if you cut into it, you still see the color of the natural wood.
Wow, you're a good storyteller. I'm right there.
Well, that was sort of the idea for the facade of the building, to have this gray cladding, but as you sort of cut into it, you see the color of the real wood. And we use this product called Thermary, which is a thermally modified wood. And then on the interior, we also used wood in select places to bring a little bit of warmth to the building.
Yeah.
Despite all these moves, at the end of the day, the building plays second fiddle to the landscape. The landscape is the most important part of this project.
So Greg, did you get everything that you dreamed of?
You know what? We really did. We got a great design created by great designers, and this facility is going to help us fulfill our mission, and we're really excited and happy to be here.
I think Rajiv said it best. As impressive as this building is, it plays second fiddle to the landscape design, and that's appropriate. This project is smart, green, and quietly ambitious, just like the people who designed it.
Blue Oak Landing is a really wonderful project that demonstrates what's possible when you care about the cause. And what is so lovely is that the team comes together to really demonstrate what's possible with sustainable design.
Welcome to sunny Vallejo, California, home to Blue Oak Landing, a project that uses bold, innovative design to create equitable housing. Wow, Daniel, this space is very impressive. I can't believe this is affordable housing.
Yeah, I mean, when we started this project, we knew it was going to be a lot of new things for the neighborhood. You know, Vallejo is a smaller scale. It's like 1- and 2-story buildings, single-family homes, and we knew with a 4-story apartment building, it was really going to stand out. We wanted the building to be something that was a positive to the neighborhood, so that there wasn't any stigma associated with it.
Yeah, it definitely stands out. I think it's about 75 units, and it doesn't feel very intimidating. It feels very homey and inviting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different tricks that we have to kind of break down the scale of buildings, and one of them that's really important here is having this nice big setback where we can do wonderful landscaping, also the angled bays. But the big move here is the fact that we broke the building in two, and that gap in the middle signifies where the front door of the building is, but it also helps just it not feel like one giant monolithic building.
I'm really excited to see this. Like, let's take a look inside.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I can tell a lot of thought went into the details of this building.
Yeah, I think, you know, affordable housing, we're really budget constrained, and there's a lot of security and durability issues. It's really easy for it to turn out institutional looking, and so wherever we can, we find opportunities to add a little detail or some design, make things a little bit more custom looking. The ceiling is a really great story. We worked with our own wood shop that we have in our office, and it allowed us to just create something that you couldn't possibly get off the shelf.
Yeah, and it feels custom. It's really hard to believe that this is a modular building.
Yeah, I mean, modular construction, it's interesting. I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there, but what's built in the factory is really kind of more the guts of the building, from the cabinets to the lighting to the VPI quality windows. But the truth is that most of the stuff that we're talking about, these details, are things that are built on site. And so whether that's the James Hardie siding or the Boak cladding on the front, so it's not any different that it's not a modular project.
I feel like there's a real sense of community here.
Yeah, so the ground floor, we were really lucky that the city wouldn't let us put any apartments down here, so it's bigger than it would be in a lot of projects like this. We've got lots of space, we've got lots of different uses, and all of those spaces have this really wonderful connection to the out of doors.
All right, Tom, it seems like you had a lot of space to work with.
Yeah, we feel really fortunate in our ability to curate some really amazing relationships between our interior amenity spaces and these amazing spaces that we're walking through. So out here we have our community garden, we have our dog run, and we have this amazing play area.
Yeah, this is not the play area of my childhood.
Yeah, this is definitely a different play space. We designed playgrounds for children of all ages and abilities to exercise risk, failure, and mastery. So in this particular case, we used whole timbers to create a really immersive exploratory forest.
And from a design perspective, the spec play equipment here really integrated really nicely with our street life furnishings, our community garden, and just the general aesthetic of the building.
I see what you did there, Tom, with putting the laundry room across from the play place. If I was a mom, I'd want to keep a little eye on my kids too.
Yeah, we felt that was really important, and also just ending the main entry sequence right at this play area as the heart of our courtyard.
I've seen a lot of amazing architecture today. I can tell that it's really here with the residents in mind.
At the end of the day, Eden builds housing, and so while we love having this great architecture, our focus is really on creating a home for people. And at Blue Oak Landing, everyone is transitioning out of homelessness, so we wanted to create a space that was very safe and stable. So in this project, we do what's called a housing first lease-up process, where basically we focus on getting people into housing before anything else. And once they're in, then we can provide them services. We try really hard to make our property seem very personal and special. And so at Blue Oak Landing, we worked with local artists, and they did some custom work of the surrounding area to really give residents this sense of a special and grounded place.
This apartment looks so great.
Thank
How does
you.
it feel to be in it?
It feels, how can I put it, relieved. Once I got my place and knew that I didn't have struggle every day, like where am I gonna stay at the next day, that is the best feeling ever, knowing that you can go home and relax. I liked how it was built. Like, I like the security code in the front. I love how my door has a code to it. It helps us keep us safe, or make us feel safe, let's say that.
There's a lot of really beautiful personal touches in this space, from the butterflies to the photos. How did making those small changes make this place more of a home to you?
So I was more excited about making my home feel like a home. Like, I want, when people walk through the door, I want them to be like, oh, this feels like a home. This doesn't feel like, I don't know, a small studio, or this doesn't feel like an uncomfortable place. Like, I want people to walk in and be like, I feel really comfortable here. Like, that's what I like.
If you build it, they will come. But if you build it with a sense of belonging, they will thrive. We've all seen how small touches, a use of innovation, and modular design can create a better future.
We hope you've enjoyed our look at some of the finest architectural designs from around America. Join us next time for more groundbreaking architecture on America by Design. For more information on any of the projects featured in this series, go to bydesign.global.